When Abraham interceded for Sodom on account of his nephew Lot, he asked God an important question. Will you indeed sweep away the righteous with the wicked? Genesis 18:23. The sin of Sodom was great, but is it just that the righteous fare as the wicked? Abraham asks. This seems to be David's concern also in Psalm 26. He says in verse 9, "Do not sweep away my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloodthirsty men." David asks God to vindicate him, verse 1. David knew that he was a fallen man. The previous psalm makes that explicit in verses 7 and 11 and 18. But as a redeemed sinner, he genuinely walked in integrity and truly trusted in the Lord. David isn't boasting, but God's steadfast love has undoubtedly bore fruit in his life. So David's first argument for vindication has to do with the company that he kept. God should judge bloodthirsty men in whose hands are evil devices and whose right hands are full of bribes, he says in verses 9 and 10. But David avoided such shady characters. He says in verse 5, "I hate the assembly of evildoers." He believed the old saying, "Show me your friends and I'll show you your future." Wilberforce gave his son this warning: "More depends on the selection of acquaintances than on any other circumstance in life." Our friends can either corrupt our character, as Paul says in 1 Corinthians 15:33, or hold us accountable in our walk with the Lord, as Proverbs 27 verse 6 says. And David had chosen wisely. David also sought vindication on the basis of his worship. David loved the holy habitation of God's house because God's glory dwells there. He loved to bless the Lord in the great assembly, verse 8 and verse 12 says. David's church attendance, so to speak, did not earn God's favor. Rather, David's worship was a sign of his genuine love for the Lord. His appeal here is like Peter's to Jesus when Peter says, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." David is saying, "This is true, Lord. You know I love to worship in your holy habitation." Of course, no believer may boast in their works. Nothing we do can merit a place for us in God's company. Only divine forgiveness can do that. And Paul uses David as his example in Romans chapter 4, verses 4 through 8. Even the best of saints are still sinners in need of redemption and grace, as David acknowledges in verse 11, Psalm 26. But sincere faith in God is justified or proven by its fruit. The choices you make, including the friends you keep and the way you worship, testify to the place the Lord occupies in your heart. Psalm 26 of David, "Vindicate me, O Lord, for I have walked in my integrity, and I have trusted in the Lord without wavering. Prove me, O Lord, and try me. Test my heart and my mind, for your steadfast love is before my eyes, and I walk in your faithfulness. I do not sit with men of falsehood, nor do I consort with hypocrites. I hate the assembly of evildoers, and I will not sit with the wicked. I wash my hands in innocence and go around your altar, O Lord, proclaiming thanksgiving aloud and telling all your wondrous deeds. O Lord, I love the habitation of your house and the place where your glory dwells. Do not sweep my soul away with sinners, nor my life with bloodthirsty men, in whose hands are evil devices and whose right hands are full of bribes. But as for me, I shall walk in my integrity. Redeem me and be gracious to me. My foot stands on level ground. In the great assembly, I will bless the Lord."